Have you had the most shocking round of golf and wanted to give up, or wanted to feel like you're gonna cry and not really know what to do about it? Well, that happened to me yesterday. It was the worst round of golf I've had in an incredible amount of time, and I couldn't play. Yes, there was stress. Yes, there was problems with my business, website, and all that kind of stuff. But I failed myself in the fact that I made it so bad because I forgot these key things that I'm going to ingrain today to dial my swing back in, to at least be able to play a half decent round of golf instead of being catastrophic. And I reckon you have fallen into the same issues, but I'm going to show you how you can avoid them. I bet, just like me, you have had a nightmare of a golf round where the golf swing just completely disappeared, where no matter what you thought about or what you tried to do, it just wasn't there. Whether it's a swing fault, whether it's in your head, you have struggled. And I did yesterday. I literally had the worst round of golf ever. So what do? What do you do? I'm going to show you how you can recover a little bit emotionally, but also mechanically for your golf swing. Let's find out how. Here's the thing, bad shots are going to happen. Bad golf swings are going to happen, but we got to learn from them. But yesterday, I couldn't even do it. I was hitting bad shot after bad shot. You know, push, cut, then a bit of a hook, then a fat shot, and then a perfect shot, like struck sweetly. I just couldn't feel my swing. I couldn't feel, the tempo was completely off, and I couldn't rectify it because I was stressed out, because I lost focus. And I started thinking too much about my swing, too much about mechanics, which only made it worse, all right? So here's what I should have done. So before we go into the mechanics of it, what I should have done when I started, and I did it actually on a couple of shots, but this is how bad it was. I knew that my sort of go-to solution when I just wasn't, when I couldn't feel my swing, I know that my go-to solution was what I'm going to tell you, but I forgot it. So it's really stupid. So that's why I wanted to share this with you, okay? Not to sort of say, here's what I fixed, but I know these principles will help you as well. One of the key components is every single shot you hit has to be very, very specific in your target. And yes, I noticed that I was, choosing my intermediate point, trying to picture and see the shot, but because I couldn't sort of feel my swing, because I was sort of snatching it away or moving too much or whatever it is, I started focusing on that area, like the swing mechanics, just too much, which gets away from the fact that golf is a reaction. Especially when we're out on the golf course, we have to say, okay, there's where I want it to go. What sort of easy swing feel do I want to accomplish here to make that happen? Not what movements do I need to make that happen. It's the other way around. And I forgot that. I forgot it, and I really don't want you to do it or forget about it too many times or too frequently, because it is disastrous. You have to be very specific with your target. You have to be very specific with your intermediate point. And you have to allow your swing to respond and react to that target, all right? To that objective, not about the swing mechanics. Even if they do feel a bit off and crappy, you still have to be precise in your task, okay? You still have to in it. That was the first shot of the day. I mean, it's only a little half swing, but you can't make arbitrary golf swings. You have to be specific. If it feels like I want to hit it high, what swing needs to hit it high? If I just want to say, okay, this is really going bad, I just want to hit it out the middle of the club face, what do I need to do to make that happen? Nothing else. No other objective. What do I need to do to hit the ball out of this club face, the center? Because, yeah, I was sort of hitting out the middle, but the face was open. It was all over the shop. So when I come back and practice now, what do I need to do to make that happen? first every single shot I hit. I haven't even had a warm-up today. Again, been working, teaching. But what objective do I need to have? I picked my point. But what I'm going to do is the next very important factor of getting back into it. And I should have applied it out on the golf course yesterday, but I only did it like 2-3 shots. And that is what you need to do out on the golf course. No matter how bad you're swinging, just dial it down. Just sort of do a half swing. The only objective is to nudge it forward. Okay? I have a fast swing, so any errors, my club head speed, any errors are, really increased, because if just a 1 degree, 2 degrees open, the faster the swing speed, the more offline it's going to go. So if the strike isn't there and if the line isn't there, we need to just get back onto the strike and then we ramp up the power. But I was an idiot. I forgot it. And I reckon there's a lot of times you do too. So what we do here is we practice some shots of just easiness. It doesn't necessarily mean short and slow, but let's start hitting some straighter shots to boost up that confidence. Even if it's like little pitch shots or chip shots. What swing feels do I need to have just to be able to make, a half decent contact that gives me a half decent, result. I don't necessarily want to be swinging full here. I've just got my pitching wedge, but I'm just gonna really focus on, a smooth swing, a nice compressed action, getting the back of that ball out of the center. If it goes 30 yards, that's perfectly fine. And I just get a nice sort of strike, okay? And what happens is I build up from there. Now, you might not give a damn about what I'm doing with my swing, but what I'm trying to show you is you can teach yourself just a little bit when you know a couple of your tendencies. And even just to take the camera out and have just a couple of swings, it can make all the difference to give you something to do, to recover, to improve, and to give you that confidence back, all right? I'm not trying to fix it at full throttle. I'm not trying to, create the perfect golf swing. I'm just trying to get a good feel back, okay? Just a good feel and tempo that feels nice, that gives me confidence. One of the keys that you must remember of how impactful it is, excuse the pun, of having confidence that you're just getting that nice feeling. Because it feels good to hit a shot, whether it's at half speed, 3/4 speed, or full speed. It still feels good. It feels nice off the club face. So let's dial it back. Let's rewind and get that foundation. I talk about the foundation a lot of, lower hands just from waist to waist, getting good contact there. It's very important. So what I'm going to do is just hit, maybe 20, 30 shots, pitching wedges, 9-irons, whatever it might be, just trying to get a nice smooth contact. And what am I basing it on right now? Not much, but what I'm going to do is be precise in my target. I'm going to be careful with my setup. I'm not going to rush through anything, and I'm just going to feel a nice flow and connected without too much movement, all right? I'm just trying to get a straight golf shot, all right? It still feels a bit iffy, still doesn't quite feel like my swing, but I'm going to build up from there. And when you kind of know your swing a little bit better, that's when you can start improving things yourself. And here's what do we do mechanically, right? How do I fix my golf swing when it was so bad? Where do I start? Apart from those factors that we've covered about choosing your target, about just starting low and small and short, just trying to, however you need to feel to get a nice sort of contact and tempo. What I like to do, even after a really bad round, and I did it yesterday, is to just record a few swings, even at home, even if it's with or without a club. You don't even have to hit balls, but try and replicate the swing that you were doing, just to sort of get some feedback. And just notice if there was anything in particular. Because my swing was all over the shop yesterday, and I know it was. It was out of sequence, it was out of timing, and I just couldn't resolve it. But, you know, I couldn't figure it out on the golf course. So watching a video, even just 3 swings without a ball in the house, I noticed a key factor. But what do you look for when you don't really know your swing? I just want you to look for any obvious key movements, anything that really does seem untoward or a reason why the timing was off, okay? Maybe for you, it might be your head lifting up. It might be sort of extending a bit too much here. It might be front on. It might be moving too forward. It might be sliding your hips on the way back. There's going to be some key moves that you do. What I was doing, which sort of put me out of whack considerably, was 2 things. In essence, turning too much, okay? So when I turned too much, when I looked on video, I'm like, okay, I don't feel like I'm trying to rotate the upper body a great deal. I don't feel that way. So what is happening? What I noticed was my hips, because, you know, I like the move of being able to throw the club that way to have freedom and momentum, okay? That's very important, but even when I was doing that, it wasn't working. What I was doing was rotating my hips too much here, okay? So what that does, that increases my rotation. If I go this way, I turn. If I'm turning too much, I increase my rotation, and then what happens is I get sort of stuck here and I have to move very quickly to get back. But if my timing is off, okay, what will happen is I end up just being sort of stuck on the inside in a way. So I'm here, okay, so the hands are dropping down a bit too much, and you think, oh, that's great to shallow. But for me, it's certainly not, because I get to sort of here and my hands are here, but the club is all the way back, and it has to work exceptionally hard to try and square back up, all right? And I only noticed that truly when I saw the video afterwards. So what do I do today? I'm going to work on 2 things today. Just resisting the hip just a hair. You know, I'm still allowing the pivot, but I'm just resisting the knee a little bit, just to load up, all right? Just to load up there. The next thing I'm going to feel is just as I am swinging down, because that's going to help, you know, keep it less sort of down round here, big turn, right? That's going to keep me a little bit more in front of my body this way. But the next factor is I'm going to work on some movements and drills. They're going to have me coming a little bit more straighter this way, okay? And I can use a box, I can use alignment sticks, whatever. But that's it. Now you might not give a damn about what I'm doing in my swing. Okay, so I've talked quite a bit about the long game, but my chipping sort of around the greens kind of sucked. It was more than anything just my kind of contact, because I'm making up excuses, but I'm still kind of getting used to the zoysia grass that they have here. It kind of sits up a little bit more than normal. So I'd sometimes kind of like get it at the top of the club, or, you know, it sort of felt a little bit heavy. So what do I do now? I haven't got much time to practice. So all I'm going to do is take like 10 balls, and that's what I've done previously, but I'm just playing 10 shots. And my goal isn't to get it close. It isn't to try and do anything spectacular. I'm just keeping it stupid, crazy, easy, simple. My only technique that I'm thinking about is maintaining this triangle here. Okay, soft hands and maintaining that triangle. That's the key. That's what we're trying to do. And this triangle basically keeps us going all the way through. I have my weight forward, but I'm just trying to make sure I get the ball first. And really, yes, I'm aiming towards a flag, but the goal is nothing to do with the flag. I'm just trying to feel a nice contact. I'm taking the pressure off having to try and get it close. All I'm doing is keeping it smooth. See, that was a little bit heavy, okay? But I'm not aiming for anything specific, and that might seem strange, but I need the foundation first, which is a good contact. So even if it's just little shots here, weight forward, maintain the triangle, and sort of keep rotating through. there. And I'm going to try and just get better at that. And yeah, I can try and land it back on that ball that I just hit, okay? And that's pretty close. But the idea is to get that baseline foundation. Weight forward, maintain the triangle, and away we go, okay? Not rushed, not panic, just smooth. There are major faults that I have in my swing that I kind of frequently combat. One is having a bit too much sort of rotation, all right? And the other is tending to for me, I have some key faults that seem to creep back, or I'm always constantly kind of combating, that really does lead to some vast inconsistencies. One is just generally too much rotation, okay? I need to try and avoid that. It's just a very old tendency. It's kind of natural for me, but it makes the swing that much harder to repeat. And the other is my angle of attack, my swing plane was way too much inside. And when I do that, I don't have room. I'm relying so much on timing, and I'll show you why. But they're my faults. So you have to know after a while just the big obvious things to look for, all right? So there you have it. Pretty easy, simple tips. Be specific with your target, be smooth and short as you're building your confidence back up, just to make that nice contact, and know just a couple of things to work on that are your big faults, because they are more likely to be the culprits of why you had such a bad swinging round. So anyway, I'm gonna go and work on those things, and if you have any questions, let me know. But thanks for listening, thanks for learning, and I will see you next time.